Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. Today I have Sahil Kaushal with me. Tell about yourself to the audience.
Sure. Thank you for having me, Vyom. My name is Sahil Kaushal, and I'm registered Canadian immigration consultant. I have my own practice under SKM Immigration. I've been helping immigrants settle, get their immigration status fixed in Canada for almost 6 years now. And yeah, we're here to help you in terms of your immigration journey.
Perfect. Overall theme of today's video is immigration changes and impact of learning French. Like what recent changes and updates has there been in immigration and how to proceed further if someone is planning to come to Canada or are already in Canada, how they can move forward, how they can plan further in terms of their immigration profile and how French can benefit them. First and foremost, Sahil, what has been there recently? Now we have listened to a lot of updates and a lot of reels and videos here and there.
Right.
But it's very important to get a proper perspective from an immigration expert, and I think that's why I mainly reached out to you to be in the video so that we can get a proper, precise information on it. So yeah, what were the changes over past few weeks?
So firstly, for viewers, this is as of September last week. Okay, like any future changes may not be mentioned about in this video or talked about in this video, and do not take it as legal advice. But yeah, there has been a lot of changes, and we can probably help you jot down or understand them better today. First and foremost, about PGWP eligibility. So now, anybody who applies for PGWP after November 1st, 2024, will have to appear for either French language test or English language test. And the required score is CLB 7 for university graduates and CLB 5 for college graduates. So if you're graduating and soon and you're applying for PGWP and it happens to be after November 1st, you will have to take your IELTS exam or French exam, TEF or TCF Canada, in order to be eligible for work permit. That's the first change that we have seen last week. And second change is that immigration is considering changing the eligibility around duration of your PGWP. So, as of now, anybody who graduates from 1 year program is eligible for 1 year PGWP, and anybody who graduates from 2 year or more program is eligible for 3 year work permit. But that may not be the case in near future. They are considering that we will implement changes around work permit duration eligibility. They are aiming to give 3 year work permits to in-demand occupations. So somebody who has done or studied in Canada in occupations or education leading to in-demand occupations, such as skilled trades, healthcare professions, and so on, they will be able to obtain a 3 year work permit. But any other occupations or any other field of education, such as business diploma or maybe office admin diploma, those students may not be able to apply for or able to get 3 year work permit. So the changes are yet to be implemented. We will know more in probably in fall of this year, later during the maybe in October this year. But again, somebody who's already in Canada should not panic, because if you're this gave out the clarity that anybody who applies for their study permit before November 1st, 2024, they will not be subject to these changes. So regardless of their field of study, they will get the work permit. But anybody who applies for study permit after November 1st will be subject to these changes. And they will have to think about what program they're choosing to study in Canada so that they can ensure they get their 2 year, 3 year PGWP eligibility as of now. They will come up with the list that they're trying to focus on. So yeah, we'll wait for that information and we'll come up with that information in future.
I think that's a bit more clear now. So anyone who is currently in Canada, but they're studying, if they're already enrolled before November, which obviously all the students those who are in Canada right now, they won't
Right.
be undergoing these particular limitations, right? It's only for those people those who are after November, those who will be
Even
study after November.
Yeah, not even enrolled, Vyom. It'll be even people who apply for study permit before November 1st. So let's say people for January intake who
Mm-hmm.
are applying for their study permit, they have to apply for their study permit before November 1st. And even if they start their education in January 2025, they'll
Mm-hmm.
still be eligible. So what minister has said, it is going to be when you apply for your study permit. So you guys, yeah, who are even coming for January, which is fair, right? Like this is
Yeah,
a fair rule change, and that's why I would like to mention to people out there that you don't have to panic that if you're within Canada or your application was in process for January, and what will happen to your eligibility. So you guys are good. You won't have to worry about it. It's people who are aiming for May intake or people who are applying for their study permit after November 1st. So they're going to be affected, which is fair amount of notice period for people to
right.
plan their programs accordingly.
Okay. Yeah. Now it's a sigh of relief to understand this because see,
Yes.
we do see a lot of reels, we do see a lot of YouTube videos here and there, but then this is something which not a lot of people were able to clearly mention that it's the study permit application that has to happen. Like if that happens after,
Before.
yeah, like then only those things will take an effect.
Exactly.
Which is very very a fair thing, so we don't really have to panic, so that's good. Talking about giving the language exam to get the work permit,
Mhm.
this is something weird which usually we don't really expect for work permit to be able to give a language exam. So either it can be French or English, which is like either IELTS, or it can be TEF Canada, which is for French. Now I have a lot of my students who have already been enrolled in my programs, and they were already learning French
Right.
on study permit. Now I tell them, okay, now it's CLB 5. It's not even that high. So now you can just give 2-3 months more of effort, so that once you want to apply for work permit, instead of giving English exam, you give French exam. That will also help you prepare for the exam itself.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. So all they're saying is it has to be like language ability, either English or French, doesn't really matter.
Right.
So as long as they're able to achieve that CLB 5, and especially if they're college graduates, they're fine. And that's actually a good motivation for them to keep on working, so that now they have to give French exam, or they were aiming to give French exam, but now there's a requirement for PGWP. Why not just give the French TEF or TCF Canada exam?
Correct, correct. No, that's a good
Yeah,
thing. Talking about this, so let's say if I'm a student on, during my last semester on study permit, does that mean now is the time to book the exam so that I'm able to, give the exam? And then once I get the results, then I put it under the work permit application. Is that how the flow is going to be moving forwards?
definitely, definitely. And I would see even increase in demand for IELTS or TEF, TCF.
Yeah.
So definitely people should plan in ahead of time, so that they are not really losing their spot. Because there's one key thing here. The day you get your grades or your final graduation letter, you are not allowed to work
Yeah.
until you apply for your PGWP. So if you are waiting for your English test or French test score to apply for your PGWP, and you waited too long, you're not gonna be able to work for that duration until you get apply for your PGWP. So it's always better to plan ahead, even if you're in your final month. It's definitely good to go for exam right away.
Perfect. Thank you, Sahil. And talking about languages, obviously English is something that everyone focuses on. My channel is mainly about French. So when we talk about French, Sahil, now, I also give a lot of information on how French is beneficial in Canadian immigration, but there is even better relief when they hear it from an immigration consultant and expert like you. So you tell us, okay? You tell us what are benefits of learning French in Canadian immigration.
For sure, for sure. So, French has been a very popular stream lately. Okay. A lot of people have been learning French, and more than, I would say, close to 12 to 15,000 people got invited this year under French draws of express entry. So, French language has been a key player in immigration, this year.
Mhm.
And immigration has been focusing on expanding that as well. Like they're looking into Francophone study permits. They're looking into, well, Francophone study permits are already live. They're not for India, but they're for certain other countries, but they're already live. They're looking for Francophone minority programs, a similar program to RNIP. So I would say in today's scenario, French is definitely going to be an asset to anybody who is looking to immigrate to Canada or who's already within Canada and wants to get their permanent residency. Primarily, we'll talk about express entry. So the basic requirements for express entry are that you need at least 1 year of skilled work experience, which is tier 0, 1, 2, or 3, or previously knock OAB, right? You need that 1 year of work experience. You need NCLC level 7 in French, TEF or TCF Canada exam, no other exam. And yeah, you have to be eligible. You create your profile for Express Entry, and you probably are going to get invitation under French draws of your. Of course, there are other factors. You get points for your age, your education, but primarily, if you are to qualify for French draws of Express Entry, you need primarily 1 year of work experience and the French language score. That's how people can apply basically.
Sounds good. And talking about that, I do have a couple some questions to ask you from the students' perspective who want to know more about French. The exams are, just as in English, we have IELTS or CELPIP. For French, we have TEF or TCF Canada. Are there any other?
Right.
Because there are other exams as well, DELF, like DELF or DALF for French. Are those accepted? I don't know. Like, actually, I know that they're not accepted, but yeah, you tell, are they accepted or not?
Yeah, for express entry or primarily for every French category, um, only exam which is acceptable is TEF or TCF Canada. Yes, DELF is accepted, but that's for Quebec immigration. So, that's for the people who are looking to immigrate to the province of Quebec. But anything outside Quebec and express entry, we only accept TEF or TCF Canada. I mean, immigration only accepts these two.
For Quebec, I guess there is DELF or TFAC, which is only for Quebec. So very important
Only
not
for Quebec. Yeah.
between these things for students those who are learning French. So yeah, that's the only thing. For others apart from Quebec, it's TEF or TCF Canada. And also, is 1 year work experience mandatory in French stream or when we are applying for French?
Yeah, this is again a very common question, but yeah, 1 year work experience is required, and it has to be a skilled work experience, tier 0, 1, 2, 3, or knock OAB. It can be within Canada, it can be from outside Canada, so that doesn't really matter. And you can go for NCLC level in French, 7 in French. That would make you eligible for French draws. And then, another thing, you don't really have to create a profile in separate portal or separate pool. It's all the same Express Entry pool. You get automatically chosen for French draws if you have French language proficiency. And not only French draws have lower cutoffs, they also give you additional points. With achieving NCLC 7 in TEF or TCF Canada exam, uh, candidates can get up to 60, 65 points in their express entry profile. So that's a big jump. So somebody who's done grade 12 from back home, studied 1 or 2 year program in Canada, does French, will be able to qualify. Otherwise their score is only going to be around 420, 430. But with French, they can take their score to 480, 490, and the cutoff, even when it went high last time, was around 445, if I'm not mistaken. But it was even below 400 for past couple of months. So that's what we are looking at as of now.
Yeah, I think that's very important to understand. It's not only that French specific draws, because some people have this question, oh, what if the French specific draws are uh, gone? Like, which I don't think so. It's gonna happen anytime, like really, really soon. Like,
For sure,
it's
for
only going
sure.
to improve. But even taking the worst case, if it goes opposite, that the draws are off, we still have that option of getting 62 extra points in express entry to boost up our score. So which is what I did
Right,
when I was applying after my 12th graduation and after my 1 year of work experience and stuff. So that's
right.
the good thing to consider. And also at the end, for French, we need NCLC 7 in reading, listening, speaking, writing. Those are the minimum score requirements. Now,
For sure.
students have this question, okay, what if get we CLB 7 in 3 and 6 in 1, or if we get CLB 8 in 4 in 3 or 6 in 1, like overall it comes out to be CLB 7. Is that countable or not?
Unfortunately, no. It has to be CLB 7 in all individual modules.
Hmm.
Um, with that score, you might get few points
Yeah.
depending on your situation, like, maybe 5, 8, 10 points because you do have CLB 7 in speaking or in listening. But you won't qualify for French draws because for French draws, it has to be CLB 7 across all four modules. But yeah, like that can give you some points, but you'll have to calculate as per your whole profile because it could differ from individual to individual.
Okay, sounds good. Perfect. Thank you so much for all this information, Sahil. It was very valuable, and viewers and all the audience now has a proper picture how French is beneficial, and now they'll be able to start their French learning journey. If they would reach out for immigration advice, Sahil, how they can connect with you?
For sure, the best way would be following my Instagram skm_immigration, and you can find link in bio to book a consultation with me. And yeah, that's the best way to contact me. We'll be happy to assist you.
Perfect. If anyone would like to learn French specifically for TEF, TCF Canada and want to clear the exam as soon as possible with a proper step-by-step guidance, you can reach out to me so that we can start your French learning journey for TEF, TCF Canada. Thank you everyone for joining, and we'll see you guys in the next video.